Hey, cosmic superstars, welcome to Honest Flow. My name is Teo, and Honest Flow is actually a channel where we have open and honest conversations. So, conversations geared towards hopefully igniting something within you or sparking something within you, helping you to come to a deep self realization, or sometimes for others, triggering them awake. If that makes sense. I just want to quickly apologize for my wet hair. I did just come out of the shower, and if I'm squinting or anything like that, it's because I can't actually see the screen in front of me because I don't have my glasses on, and I didn't want to wear my glasses right now because after I have a shower, if I wear my glasses, I start to get these like little dints. I already have like these permanent dints here from constantly wearing glasses because I've been wearing glasses since high school, really. So over 20 something years. And yeah, I have been wondering if I should get laser, but anyway, digressing. So I actually got some downloads in the shower while I was in the shower, which is sort of the place where I normally get a lot of thoughts coming through, and it's also the place where I do a lot of release and purging and self-talk. And what I mean by that is I just talk a lot in the shower to myself, which is weird. And I realized I've been doing that since I was a kid. And funny story, or true story. When I was young, I would hate going to have a shower or having a bath. Like my parents would really have to push me and really, yeah, just basically have to push me and remind me, like, hey, have you had a shower yet? And yeah, there would be weeks where I wouldn't have a shower for 3 or 4 days. And yeah, I know that's really bad, but I actually learned that's sort of to do with people with ADHD too, or people on the ADHD spectrum. Our personal hygiene isn't the greatest. So, yeah, it's just funny when I reflect back on all my personal habits as a young child. And yeah, my parents would really have to push me to have a shower or have a bath. And when they finally did, the problem was then I would never get out. I would just fill up the bathtub with a lot of hot water and then basically just lie there floating for hours until my hands and or fingertips got really wrinkly like prunes. And then the water was getting really cold. And what I do is I release some of the water out of the tank and then turn on the hot water and refill. And I would keep doing it. And I would be in the bathroom for like 2 hours sometimes, and my dad would just crack the shits. Like, sorry for saying that, but yeah, he would just crack it, and he'd just come banging on the doors like, "Get out of the shower!" And I'm just like, "Oh, okay." Yeah, I was a strange kid, actually. Anyway, digressing. So I came out of the shower just before, and well, I was in the shower before, and I had this strange download or topic that just came through, and I thought maybe I should talk about it. And I hope that this video won't be too long, or the intent of this video is not meant to be long. And for those of you who don't know, I do struggle with verbal articulation sometimes. It's just just I just process information differently. So I just wanted to make you aware in case this is the in case this is the first video you are watching of me and you're like, what's wrong with it? Why can't she speak? I do get tongue tied. And if you look down there, there's like a whole disclaimer that I write in every one of my videos to make people aware so they're not just so harsh, not harsh. Oh, part of me is like, let's just delete this and do this again. But no, Spirit has been saying just do you and show people your flaws. So yeah, this is me, imperfect and all. But yeah, so topic I wanted to speak about was basically why certain people or some of us don't dig deep when we're on the spiritual path. And what I mean by digging deep is really getting into the detail, really investigating and researching and looking into your charts, all the spiritual reports out there to help you understand yourself. And yeah, I feel that this video might be triggering for some, but I really have to speak up about it because I really want people to understand that if you want to change yourself, if you want to transform your life, if you want to shift gears, you have to dig deep. You can't just skim across the surface. You can't just, take up a few spiritual practices here and there, getting to crystals or Reiki healings or energy healings. yoga practices, whatever practice you're doing, spiritual practice, while it's all good because it's all, part of the toolkit to help you transform yourself. I feel the how do I say this? The biggest keys to help you to transform yourself, really, or the step that we all must take, is to become more self-aware and to acknowledge who we are and what we came here to do, and to understand what our challenges are and what our shadows are. Not just the talents, the skills, the divine God-given gifts that we have. It's not just about that. It's about the ugly stuff too, the heavy stuff, the stuff that really pushes our buttons. Like, we really need to look that way. And I have been getting this feeling, this sense that there's a lot of people out there who embark on the spiritual path, and they only sort of, like I said, skim across the surface of things. They don't really dig deep enough. They sort of read a few things about themselves here and there, and then they sort of hone in or focus in only on the positive bits, the good bits, the talents, the skills, what you're good at. But they sort of turn a blind eye to the not so good stuff, the weaknesses, the areas or for improvement. And the reason I feel that these people do this is because there is a part of them, most likely their ego, that is afraid to find out the truth. There is a part of them that is afraid that the narrative that their mind or their ego has built for them is incorrect. And that's why they don't want to dig deep. For example, there's a person who doesn't want to look into their charts because they've built this narrative that they're this all-powerful person and they're more superior than everyone, and they are meant to be a leader and meant to be controlling, and or not controlling, like, no one admits to wanting to be controlling, but they're meant to be an authority figure, right? They've developed this story that I'm meant to be an authority figure and I'm meant to like do this and that. And then the truth is, if they were to look in their charts, actually, they're not meant to be some sort of authority figure. Maybe they're meant to be in a sort of more of a service role. And by the way, I don't want anyone to ever feel ashamed or less than, you know, through their charts, if you know what I mean. Like, I don't want people to look at their charts like, oh, I'm not here to be a leader, so I'm just like a nobody. It's like, no, you're not nobody. We're all somebodies. We're all somebody to someone. We all have something to share, to give to others. And some of us obviously give like more of ourselves to more people, and some of us give to our closer community, those intimate connections, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm coherent or not right now. Like, I don't know if I'm speaking in a way that you guys are understanding me. Please forgive me. This is another one of my random rambles, which is always the case. But yeah, so there's certain people out there who don't want to dig deep, don't want to do the research, don't want to look at the different charts, because there's a part of them that kind of knows that they are lying to themselves. There's a part of them that knows that they've built this facade to fit into society, to yeah, to basically just fit in. And that's why they don't dig deep. That's why they don't do the research. That's why they're sort of not looking at their charts, because they already know, because their soul already knows they're out of alignment. And their ego is like, no, 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 no. We're here to like be authority figures, and we know better than all these other people because we've been on the path for so long. And if you watch my other video about the truth about spiritual communities, length of time on the spiritual path does not equate to being a super conscious, highly conscious person. It doesn't equate to being more superior or smarter or wiser. In fact, I would say if you've been on the path for that long and your life has not changed, then there's something going on there that you really need to look at. But as I said, you probably aren't looking at it because you don't want to. your ego does not want to admit that it's wrong. Your ego doesn't want to be proven that it's wrong because your ego is your ego. It likes to be in charge. It wants to be, yeah, the one that knows it all. It is the know-it-all. It's like, no, 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 I know what's going on. And yeah, so I guess I wanted to come on and sort of highlight that. And this is a very short video, as I said, and I really wanted people to think about that. And I want people to ask themselves, like, have you been digging deep enough? Have you actually looked at all your charts to really understand who you are? And have you been glancing over the sort of more negative aspects of yourself, the shadow aspects, the areas where it says, you probably struggle with communication, you struggle with being stubborn, or you struggle with being scattered and not listening to people or talking over people? Like, have you looked at those areas, or are you just quickly glancing over it and just going into the, oh, you're really good at this and this and this? Like, you have to understand, yes, it's good to know what we're good at. And yeah, but if we really want to grow, we need to work on the areas where we're not so good at, because that's how we become stronger. That's how we strengthen ourselves and, yeah, transform ourselves. Like, the areas we're good at, you can't get any better than you already are. If you're already good at something, like, how much better can you get at it? Do you know what I mean? So I really want people to think about that. And yeah, so do the work, guys. Do the work properly. And I'll tell you what, I'll tell you a funny story, a couple of funny stories. I think this one that I'm telling you now, I've mentioned in another video, but I remember there was a girl who was a friend, no longer a friend, but she used to always like to sort of brag or boast to me. It's like, oh yeah, I went to the beach today and I meditated and blah blah blah. And I know this girl very well, and I know that she would never pause to meditate. So I just felt like she was just saying things to sort of prove or show me, because she wanted me to, I don't know, validate her or accept her, or I don't know. I just feel like she was saying these things just to please me, but I didn't need her to please me. I just needed her to be honest, but she wasn't being honest. And she just like always tell me about all the spiritual things she did and how she went and got fit and went to the gym and all these things. And I was like, I have a feeling that you're not doing this. You're just telling me that you do. I feel like you're not. And I remember she asked me for help, and she'd often actually call me to confide in me and tell me all these problems with all these different people. And then, yeah, and then she asked for help about something. And then I sent her a numerology chart. And I know that that chart or that article I sent her takes at least 10 to 15 minutes to read, because that's how long it took me to read it. Right. So I'd say, like, you can't just read it quickly. And I sent her the link, and within 1 minute, she replied saying, oh, good read. And yeah, and that's showing me someone that's not really wanting to do the work, but they're pretending that they're doing the work. They're doing the sort of surface level stuff, but not the deep stuff, because they just don't want to change, I guess. I think when people aren't ready, sadly, but I'm here to help those of you who are ready, and I'm here to sort of help you understand that you really have to dig deep. You really have to acknowledge that you have certain issues that you need to work on, and not be ashamed of it, because we all have problems. We've all made mistakes. And yeah, and I just really want people to know that, right? I think I had another example, but it's just like flown out of my mind now, so we won't talk about that. Oh, there is another thing I want people to understand. A lot of the time people get confused with when they're going on the spiritual path, embarking on the spiritual path, they get confused with certain words like psychic gifts, intuition, and even mediumship. And just an overall sort of FYI, psychic abilities are things like clairaudience, claircognizance, clairsentience, clairvoyance, clairaugustation, I think that's the word. I don't know, but the clairs, we've got all the clairs, and clairs meaning clear. So clairaudience means clear hearing, clairvoyance means clear vision, but these are what we call psychic abilities, and psychic actually refers to the psyche. And what it means is your ability to interpret energy, to perceive messages through energy, right? That's what it is. Now, intuition is an internal guidance system, and I kind of link this to clear cognizance, which is clear knowing. It's sort of similar. Intuition and clear knowing kind of could be the same thing, really, but it's a gut feeling, a feeling on inside, like, yes, this is right for me. No, this is not right for me. So I want people to understand that, right? So psychic abilities are the sort of clairs, using your mind to interpret the information. And there's different ways you can interpret it. You can receive the messages through hearing, visions, or feeling. And then intuition is more of like, yeah, your internal GPS. And then we have mediumship, which actually refers to those who can commune with those that have crossed over. So those who were once human. So is it incarnate or carnate spirits? I can't remember the right word, but basically someone who has passed from this realm, this world, to the other side. So your loved ones. That's what mediumship is, or what mediums do. They are the medium, the middle point between the crossed over one, and they, yeah, send you the message through them. So that's a different sort of psychic, no, it is a psychic gift, but it's a different frequency, and they really have to lift up their energy to match the vibration of those spirits on the other side so they can receive that information, right? So I wanted people to sort of know that. And the reason I wanted people to know that as well is I want people to also understand something. When you're going through these charts and when you're getting sort of readings done or anything, and then someone tells you that you're psychic or you have intuitive gifts and blah, 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 I want you to know that having these gifts does not equate to being wise, okay? Having these gifts does not mean you know everything. It means you have those gifts and you have to use it and build on it before you become wise. And wisdom comes from experience. Wisdom comes from, yeah, experiencing a lot of things and learning the lessons behind it. So I want people to sort of not fall into the spiritual ego trap, or ego trap that thinking, oh, because I am this, for example, a master number 11, I am intuitive. So I know everything. Because unfortunately, I have met people who fall into that trap, and it's really sad because they think, oh, I have this, innate gift, this innate intuition. So it means I know everything about everyone already. It's like, yes, you're intuitive, and yes, you're able to sense things for yourself and sort of navigate this world how best it works for you. Is that the right phrasing? Like, you're able to sort of make choices and decisions that work for you and help you, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you have the truth in your hands. It doesn't equate to wisdom. And sometimes you might feel that something is off. For example, you bump into someone and you feel that there's something off with them. And then because you think you're intuitive, you think, oh, there's something wrong with that person. Oh, I bet you there's something bad there. But maybe that's not always the case. Like, you have to understand, you never will get to the truth of anything or why you feel those things or those energetic differences, sort of friction, unless you ask somebody, unless you get to know somebody. And I guess, yeah, I'm sharing that because I really want people to sort of refrain from falling into those traps and thinking that they know better. Because, like I said, having these gifts does not equate to wisdom. Wisdom is cultivated through experiences and learning from your lessons and, yeah, asking questions and going deep. So, yeah. Anyway, I can feel my nose running, and I don't know why my nose is always running in these videos, but yeah, I am going to stop now. And again, sorry for the wet hair, and sorry if I've been squinting or looking in different directions. I actually have problems staring straight into the camera. And I'll tell you a random story. So my eyes naturally dart around, and I can't help it. I can't control it. Sometimes I think I'm staring at something, but my eyes go tick, 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 tick. And my ex, like my last partner who was a narcissist, he used to accuse me because my eyes naturally darted of like checking out guys whenever we were walking out in public. And it was really stressful, actually. It got to the point where I was so tired of fighting with him that I just stared at the ground when we were walking out. I just like walked like that because of my natural body mechanism. My eyes just normally dart. And yeah, when I think about it, it's just so unfair. Like, the things that guy put me through, man. Anyway, that's a story for another time. Love you guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. And if you enjoyed this video or like this video or just want to send me any sort of moral support, a thumbs up would be great. But it's okay if not to. I am just going to continue to share these random messages because yeah, that's what I'm here to do. Just share random messages and see where it goes from here. So love you all so much. I hope I didn't trigger you, but I really want to help people grow because I really want to lift people. I'm here to lift people, not shrink people, not push people down, but I want to lift people, but I also want to be honest where I see people are sort of going off track or getting into the ego. You know what I mean? Anyway, bye.